All right, good. We about to go. We about to go right now.
Say less.
What up,
Yeah.
y'all? What up? Welcome back to another episode of the Imperfect Action Show. As you guys know, on this series, what we do, we connect with entrepreneurs, right, on the business side and on the marketing side. We teach a lesson, a strategy, or a principle in real time that you could take and implement in your business. And on today's episode, man, I had to bring the guy, man. Episode 54. We had to bring this dude. Him and I have been trying to get on the horn, trying to get on the podcast for a couple of months. I ain't gonna lie, it might be like 6 months or something like that.
Definitely that. Yeah, definitely 6 months or more, bro.
At least. But it was definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. I gotta bring my guy Jeff Churls on. If you guys know anything about him, he stayed active. He consistent. He's disciplined. He put out the information. He does the work. This was definitely somebody that you know how sometimes you run across somebody, you're like, yo, should I follow this person? I don't know. I don't really know nothing about him. But I remember the first time that I came across this guy's page, bro. It was just the energy was there, the consistency was there, the effort was there. I was like, yo, I gotta tap in. So without further ado, let me introduce my guy Jeff Trills, man. Welcome to the Imperfect Action Show.
Well, thank you, brother. Thank you for having me on the show, man, Brandon. It's been a minute, but we finally here, bro. And I'm super excited to be on your podcast of all podcasts. I love the name because that's what it really takes to be a success. You have to take imperfect action. And that's what I'm going to be sharing today, how to take imperfect action in the lane that I'm in. And that's what definitely got me to where I'm at. So I love the name of the title of the show, my brother.
I appreciate you. Appreciate you. So what I'm gonna do real quick, I'm gonna send a link to our community to let them know that we are live and popping. And in the meantime, why don't you tell them who Jeff Trills is?
Phenomenal. Well, my name is Jeff Trills. I'm from the Bronx, New York. I currently live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm the proud owner of Rent My Rideshare, a premier rental company for the Uber and Lyft drivers, where we specialize in renting the Uber and Lyft drivers. When they rent with us, they don't want to go nowhere else. So our slogan is rent with the best, and you'll forget the rest.
Rent. Say that one more time.
Rent with the best, and you'll forget the rest. That's our
Rent with
slogan.
the best, and you'll forget the rest.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
Hold on,
what
man.
we
I gotta
what
make sure
we
they tapped in.
now
Make
you
sure they
good.
tapped
So what we do, right? We specialize. I was driving Uber for 8 years,
in.
right?
Yeah.
When I first came to Atlanta back in 2014, I just went up and then I just left. I was like, I'm tired of New York. I'm tired of the cold. That's my city. That's where I'm from. But it's time for me to get up and go and see something different. So when I came to Atlanta, they didn't have buses and trains. And back in New York, we didn't have to have a car. So 9 times out of 10, we didn't have a car, right? But in
Yep.
Atlanta, it's a must out here. So when I got my car, they were like, "You want to drive for Uber and Lyft?" I said, "What's that?" So I said, "You're gonna pay me to drive? You're gonna pay me to learn the city? Oh, let's run it, right?"
Yeah.
So I got paid to learn the city, and unbeknownst to me, that was supposed to be some part time, but it became an 8 year long career with them, which is phenomenal. I'm gonna talk about the power of that, and during this podcast.
100%. So I guess what intrigued me, right, is the idea, like you said, like you can have, what some people may deem a liability, right? You can have a car right now in your parking lot, in your carport, in front of your house, behind the house, maybe collecting dust. Maybe you got two cars, you just don't really, ride the other one or whatever the case may be. You could turn that into an asset using, like you said, Lyft, Uber. There's a couple other ones out there as well, and then you could then turn it up where like you can have other people utilize your car so they can do Uber, Lyft, or whatever the case may be. So you're basically turning that short term rental situation into a long term bag. So that's definitely what we're talking about in this episode. So why don't we run it from the beginning, man? So let's just think. Let's just think somebody right now they got a car like let's use me for example. I got a
Cool.
car, right? I got a Tesla. I don't really drive my Tesla. Let's just say, right? I'm in the crib. I'm on the internet. I'm busting these moves. You know what I'm saying? So the car's sitting.
Right.
So if someone's like me right now, they watching this. Maybe they watching the live or they watching the playback. How are they gonna get like? How can they turn that into a passive income machine and get some extra money on a vehicle while they're in the house getting to it?
Well, that's a great question, brother. So I'm gonna tell you the first thing you want to do is get mentorship on the thing you're about to do, right? I don't care if it's one car or 100 car. If it's passive, you still want to learn the game that you're about to enter into. So first thing is understand the lane you're getting in and see if there's anybody who's doing that bigger and better and see if you can tap into their resource. That's
Mm,
one. once you decide, because it's gonna give you all the shortcuts. It's gonna give you all things that you don't even know to think about asking when you're renting your car, if it's on the platform or off the platform, right? So because before I started my rental journey, I interviewed my mentor, right? Shout out to Pushman Mitch. Interviewed him on my podcast, and from that interview, I said, okay, it's time to go. It's time to go. So I joined his mentorship, and then on top of that, I joined my other mentor, Mr. Matty J. So by joining these two mentorships and going through them, I was able to make a decision on what it is that I wanted to do, right? So in the beginning, I wanted to do Toro. Like everybody talk about Toro. But when you're on the inside of all the promotion, you realize the pros and cons. And that's when I realized that's something that I didn't want to do. I didn't want to do Toro because of all the things that they were saying. So I was like, I'm going to pay them for just in case money, meaning I'm paying to this platform a percentage of my earnings, and the only reason I'm doing that because just in case an accident happens, hopefully, or I think they'll cover me, so I'm not going to be taking a loss by myself.
And they ain't trying to cover you.
And that's the goal, right? The goal is not to pay out. Okay, I mean you're going to pay out if it makes sense, but they're going to do everything in their power to make sure that they don't have to pay out because you didn't follow their terms and conditions. You didn't follow their blueprint, but they're not teaching you the blueprint, right? That's what mentorship is for. So, for instance, you didn't know if you're on Toro, right? And you never took a class or anything, right? You get on Toro, you don't know about having to take 50 pictures every single check in and check out. You don't know about the tread depth reader, meaning make sure your tires are at a certain level. You don't know about that. You don't know about the rim rash. You don't know about none of that stuff because they're not teaching you on how to properly navigate through their platform to make sure that you're covered. It's not their business.
Yeah, 100%. They don't want to cover you.
No,
they want to take their percentage. They want to take their fee, right, per rental, and then when you're negligent, which is at no fault to yourself, you just don't, like you say, you just don't know when you're negligent, and you don't have the minimum requirements for them to even consider your claim as a suitable claim to pay out. They're gonna not pay out.
And that's it. A lot of people on these platforms that thinking they're going to be covered, but don't read the fine print or don't understand how it really works because they haven't had any prior knowledge of how this program works. First of all, you got to understand what the platform is designed to do. Toro is a platform for the weekend renter, not the long-term renter. And people that go on that platform, they look at the rent for the weekend to go out of town, do whatever, and bring the car back. It's like a luxury, not necessity, right? You take another platform like a hire car. Now, their model is to rent to people who's not looking to spend a lot of money, right? The person that's just getting in the door don't have a lot of money. The low end people is what hire cars for. So you're going to get people that rent your car out and dog your car out because they don't really have the money to pay for it and they don't care about your car either way. So that's the low tier level type of person that's going to rent your car out, and because they mindset, I just need something cheap real quick. But also on that other end, those cars that get put on there are not being taken care of either, right? So you thinking for cheap, and then you get a cheap car, and then you mad because the car's not working like you want it to work, right? So that's why I come up with cheap is the new expensive, right?
Cheap is the new expensive.
Yes, sir. You feel me? Because if you don't, you're going to end up paying 2 times over instead of just doing it the right way and getting the quality car at the price and let us show you how to make more money while you're in our vehicles. And that's what Rep My Ride Share comes in at. We're not the cheapest. So don't ask for the cheapest price. We're not going to give you the cheapest prices. We have premium cars for the premium Uber and Lyft driver. And here's our advantage. We show you how to what? Because we're Uber drivers, I'm going to show you how to maximize the earning on the platform so you can do it. Make your goal and work less on the platform. It does 2 things for both of us. 1, you hit your target better so you can go live your life. And 2, it makes sure that our miles on the car are not as high because we help you hit your target in less time.
That's crazy to really think about that. So like your program right now, because I want to kind of get into that real quick, right? So what differentiates what you're teaching, right? The student and the entrepreneur in your program versus another one that they're gonna get in. Because I like how you broke that down, right? Cheap's new expensive, and a lot of people do be trying to cut corners and just kind of get in the situation. But like you said, if you go the cheap route, if you go the pace as you go route, you end up spending more money on their end. where you could have literally just went a different route, maybe paid a little ticket, paid a premium, but you end up saving money, i.e., even making more money on the back end, right? Because you're not paying all these different ways in the long term. So talk about that a little bit. How, like why would rent my ride share be perfect for a potential rental entrepreneur?
Well, phenomenal. So Rent My Rideshare is my rental company, but I have a mentorship called Rideshare Domination, where we show you how
Mm,
to dominate the rideshare market,
I
right?
like that. I
We
like
don't
that.
compete, we
Yeah,
dominate, right?
yeah,
We
I like that.
collaborate and dominate, but we never compete because you're losing that way going into it with that mindset, right? So Amazon don't compete, they dominate, right? Elon Musk don't compete, he dominates. So why are we playing with competition when we need to focus on domination? So Rideshare Domination is designed to show you how to dominate every aspect of the car rental space for rideshare drivers. And so here's the difference from me and everybody else, what you mentioned, right? First of all, this is one thing. Once again, it's for us by us, right? So
Mhm.
I'm an Uber driver for 8 years, so I have 8 years of experience in the rental game of renting cars to Uber and Lyft, so I know how that works, right? People say, "Oh, I can get that car off of Uber for cheaper." You can, but here's the problem: there's not enough cars to go around. So yes, you can get it for cheaper, but guess what? When they run out, you ain't making no money. Cheap
Yep.
and expensive, right? But like I said, if I can not if, but when I show you how to maximize your earnings on the platform, that's what you really need to focus on. Not how much it costs you, but how much you can make. That's the mindset I'm looking to change. So in my mentorship, this is what we teach: the mindset of the driver, right? Why would they rent my car over somebody else? So for instance, my cars are premium cars. They have K5s and all they have leather seats and they wheels. The wheel package is nice to me. And when you look at the car, you are you get an emotional attachment to the car, both for the driver and the rider. Okay,
Mm.
inside has to be a cloth seats and really prestige because when they get in there, they're gonna feel good. Versus cloth seats, we don't do cloth seats, right? Now people are like, oh, but it rents out. Yes, it does rent out. But here's the problem: when have you ever gotten an Uber and you got cloth seats and you see stains or it keeps a certain smell
Or here.
or hair? So I mean, you added something to the mix, right?
Yeah, 100%.
You're like, oh my God, who has that? Right?
Yep.
So much stuff caught in these cloth seats that's not pleasurable for the driver because he knows that you feel some kind of way, so that's going to affect his or her tips, and not pleasurable for you. You got a bag you can put in here, so you got a seat cover, some leather seat covers,
Yeah.
right? And after a while, it gets smelly because we pick up all kinds of customers, especially the fast food place. They working, so they get the fast food smell on them, and then when they get in here, it's now ingrained in your seat. But if you have leather seats, you can disinfect it, wipe it off, and you right back in business, right?
Yep.
Cool. What happens is the whole key about getting the kind of car that we get is for our drivers to have an emotional attachment to the vehicle where they feel like they don't want to give it back. Okay, that's the key. Because yes, you can rent any car out that you want, but the key is long term, not short term, right? So if I want to do long term, I got to make sure I'm giving the proper tools that's going to allow that person to want to keep it long term, right? And so that's what happens. They get in the car, they get emotionally attached to it, and they're like, man, now it's their car. They tell their mama, their cousin, their brother about their new car, and now they're saying they're not even admitting that as a rental. They're saying, yeah, it's mine, right? So now they committed to it because that's how they felt about it. Ask me how I know, right? When I
You
rent
know,
cars,
Jeff. How you know, Jeff?
when I was renting cars from Uber and Lyft drivers, I posted on my social media, got my new car, da 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 da, and was just living life like it was my car because I wasn't planning on giving it back, right? But here's the problem: when you rent from Uber and Lyft, one, if you go to the rental company with them and instead of us, if you go and get a car through Lyft, you can only drive for Lyft with that car. You can't do Uber and Lyft with an Uber car. That's one.
That's true. That's true.
So how can you maximize if Uber's slow, but you have a Lyft account? How can you win? Right? That's one. Two, if they need to do an oil change, you got to bring the car back, give it in. They give you a ride home, and hopefully you'll get that car back. But 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna get that car back, because that's how they get you out of the car and get someone else in that car, because they're
Yep.
rotating cars because they don't have enough cars. So now your whole life is depending on when they're gonna tell you to return the car for an oil change. Okay, ask me how I know.
How
And
you know?
because everything I'm talking about is what happened to me. That's why I'm able to share with you guys exactly what kind of cars you get, what kind of drivers is going to get it, and who to rent to, right? So we don't rent to people that just got started driving for Uber and Lyft. Ask me why.
Why, Jeff?
Here's why. Here's why. Because they don't even know how much they can make, right? So they're gonna be like, yo, okay, I don't know, I'm just getting started. I want to get my feet wet. I don't got that, yada yada yada. So 9 times 10, they're not comfortable with the kind of rental price that we're asking for. Okay, but the vets or people that's been in here driving for years, they know what kind of money they make, right? So they can know if they can afford a payment a weekly and still profit. Okay, so everything is designed to the point where we have a long-term rental that stay out more than every 28 days if you renew the contract. But we want our car to stay out for a year to 3 years max. Okay, it one driver. But here's the cool thing with going our route, we don't just like Toro. You're gonna have about 10 to 15 people in your car throughout the months. That's a lot of people going in and out of your car. I have anywhere from 1 to 3 drivers for the year in my vehicle.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely going to improve like the overall quality and the longevity of the vehicle. And that actually kind of goes down to one of the questions I see coming from the chat. What are some of the proper tools to keep it long term, to keep the quality long term, to keep the car in good working condition long term?
Here's the cool thing about that. I think we thinking that the less we drive the car, the better the car will be, which is total opposite because a car was made to be driven. That's why they got 6 zeros for us to go ahead and use them, right?
You talking about on the odometer?
On the odometer, right? On the speed odometer, you got 6 zeros, so that means it can go up to 900, all the way to dang near 1,000,000 miles, right? So the more the car get used, the less work needs to be done on it. I know it sounds crazy, but all that we take care of the major wear and tear is like oil change, tire change, brake change, right? But the oils and everything is being lubricated on a daily basis, so the car is working like it was designed to work. Just like a plane. A plane would do more damage sitting than being in the air because it was never created to sit. It was created to be in the air. So people are like, well, I don't know if it's going to be safe. Well, it's the more that plane flies, the more safe that plane is for you. The less that plane flies, the more dangerous it is for you. Same thing with the vehicle. So I don't know if that answers the question, but the key thing is to have this car be rented out so that it stay out, and we do the regular wear and tear like tire change, oil change, brake change, stuff like that. And here's the cool thing about a driver: they're not weekend drivers. So weekend drivers, they're smoking and drinking in the car, right? They're going out of town. They're doing all that.
That's a good point. Yeah,
they're doing all that stuff that you don't want to do. Yeah. Right? They're doing it. Whereas an Uber driver, they can't smoke and drink because when they get a rider, guess what? If the rider smells liquor on their breath or weed in the car, they're reporting you. And when they report you, you get shut down on the app for 3 days to do investigation. We ain't got time to play it like that. One, we're going to treat the car right because we want the car to last long so we can make the most bang make the most bang off our buck, right? So they're going to treat it like their own. They're not going to be smoking and drinking in the car. They're hardly going to go out of town because they're too busy working, and we're winning together.
So we got a question coming from the community. This one's coming from Darius. She's asking, what do you do for insurance, bro? Cool. And can I add a driver as an authorized driver under my personal insurance if they're going to use it for long term?
Yeah. So when I first started this game, that was the biggest question, right? So big that I actually took a class. I actually went in and took a insurance class so I can understand the insurance game from that side, right?
Wait. Hold up. Because I don't want people to miss this. My man said he wanted to understand this question, which was obviously a problem because it kept coming up. So what he did was he invested, took an insurance class, which for a lot of you guys would be on the back end, right? So we can understand the corporate structure, understand the corporation perspective on that question. And now we can understand how to build systems and strategies around that, provide a proper solution, and then navigate through that. I just want to make sure y'all missed that, because you know what I'm saying? That's called strategy, and that's genius. All right, go ahead, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, so I learned in this class exactly about all insurance from, car insurance, which is the lowest insurance ever form where you make the money off of, all the way up to whatever, right? So I learned with the insurance class, right? And I wanted to get my insurance license so I can sign, give my own self policies on my own car, right? So I give myself policies. But here's to answer your question. For the insurance game, what we do in the rideshare space is a company called Buckle Up that we use, and they're designed for the rideshare or gig economy community. So they specifically sign people up that want to do ride share. All right, and so now we're able to have them get their ride share insurance to rent out to get our cars to use them to drive for Uber and Lyft. Okay, or gig economies. But I focus on Uber and Lyft, and there's a reason why I don't just rent cars out to people that do DoorDash, Uber Eats, and all that. There's a reason for that. Okay, if y'all want to know the reason, well, first of all, did I answer his question?
Yo, Darius, let them know. Let them know if he gave you all the information you needed on that question. Buckle Up is the insurance carrier for you to research. Darius had a follow up question. He's like, "Yo, what's that insurance class?"
So it's the PNC class, right? So you go and look at PNC. I think property and casual. Okay, and I paid like I don't know 2 something for that class. I got the OG teacher. That brother is a G. I mean, he's been teaching class. He's a part of the board and everything. So he gave us the real source. He's like he remembers everything. But he told us, and this is why I love doing this because we learned a lot that insurance is vast, and insurance is they got all kinds of insurance. You could be with a company called Travelers Insurance, and you don't need to take a policy because you own stock in Travelers. Didn't know that, right?
That's crazy. Wait, hold up. So if I own Travelers Insurance stock, I may not even need to purchase the insurance to get the coverage.
There's no, I may not. You don't have to purchase coverage.
Yo, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
So it's so crazy that world is so amazing. I was so grateful to be even in that world, and thanks to my rental company, I'm in that world, right? So now because of that, I now was able to talk to adjusters, right? So now in our mentorship, we have insurance adjusters that able to help us when situations like accidents happen. Because the only reason why you're going on these platforms like Toro, Get Around, Hire Car, is because you want them to help you in the case of an accident. But if you knew how to handle every situation in an accident, you wouldn't need them.
100%.
I wouldn't pay them just in case money.
I was thinking about that the other day, bro, because I'm like, I get my Tesla back probably this weekend, and I'm like, I want to rent it, but I don't really want to rent it on Toro. I want to have my customer data. I want to serve my clients, and I want to get more of the money. So I don't even want to put the car back on Turo. And then I'm like, yo, at some point I want to get an exotic car and I want to rent that. But I don't want to put that on Turo neither. So right. I'm like, I need to figure out the agreements. I got to figure out the paperwork. I need to figure out the structure so then I can set this up for myself. And I got to go through the third parties that don't want to cover my car, that keeping the customer data and taking money per transaction, plus, anywhere from 20 to 70% of the revenue. Well, I don't want to do that. I try to do that. That don't even make sense.
Let me tell you, not just keeping the revenue, the data, and all that, but telling you what you can and can't do with your car.
100%.
Because it's on their platform. They
100%.
don't own the car, but they tell you what you can and can't do with your car, your asset, or your liability. Mm-hmm. And if something happens to the car, they can wash their hands off and say, hey, go. They actually tell you, see if you can actually go and strike a deal with the person that damaged your car. I'm like, what? So when I hear stories like that, I'm like, I'm already doing what they will be doing because they're not doing anything special. Guys, I want you to understand that they're not doing anything special. They just have connection with insurance companies. And so what this means is, in the case of an accident and they know they can get that claim covered, they'll handle it. They'll pay for it, get it back on the back end, no problem. But if it's something that they can't handle or their insurance company won't cover, they put it on you to go handle it with that driver because 9 times out of 10, it may or may not be handled on their end. So if that's the case, then what do you really need to understand? How the insurance works, and in case of an accident, what needs to happen. So for those who not renting cars for Uber and Lyft drivers, then what I did was I learned to get with, like I said, it's important that you get into these mentorships because that's where all the sources being dropped, right? Yep. There's a company called HQ Rentals. There's companies that out there that got the insurance thing for the private play of luxury cars, right? And then when I first started, I wanted luxury cars. I was like, everybody like, yeah, I'm gonna give me a luxury because I like to drive, I got my Tesla, but that wasn't the first car I got, right? Because I understood one thing, and shout out to Pushman Mitch for that, because he said everybody want to start at Z, but no one wants to start at A, right?
Yeah, meaning economies, right?
Talking about the economies. It wasn't sexy. But let me tell you something, that economy play is sexy like a mother. Why? Because it's consistent sexy. It's the 30 for 30 play. It's the I get my car rented out every month instead of every other week. See, on Toro, they're like, oh, I rent my car off 20 days out the month. That's success. Yes. But what about the other days? Especially if you're not driving the car, right? I need my car to stay out. I don't want to see them.
Yeah, 100%, hundred
I just
percent.
want to, every 28 days we're gonna renew the contract. I see the cars, and I let you go ahead and live your life with the car. I don't look. I want you to feel like it's your car, right? And that's what we teach how to get a driver emotionally attached to the cars based on the vehicle they have. I'll give you a real life example. I know I'm excited, so I'm keep talking, but I got to give you
Now,
something.
yo, listen, you giving a straight sauce. We appreciate it. I'm gonna just do a quick little room check. Imperfect Action Show, episode 40. Wait, tomorrow's Friday. Episode
54.
49.
Oh,
49,
there you
actually.
go.
49. Cause tomorrow, wait. Actually, I'm thrown off. I gotta look. Episode 54. I'm bugging. Episode 54. Last week was 50. Episode 54. I got my guy Jeff Church. He's talking about turning a short-term rental play into a long-term asset to get you paid passively consistently. And he's giving a lot of sauce and a lot of game. And man, just keep going, bro. Keep going.
Yeah,
If you all guys have any other questions, drop them in the community. Drop it right there in the community chat, and we can ask Jeff in real time. Any questions to anything you want to know.
yeah. So I don't know where I left off at, but I want to say in this game that we're doing here, right? I had the mentor. I had the mentor. Once I got the mentorship, I knew exactly where I wanted to go. Like I said, we started from A. I'm starting from A right now. Economy car wasn't sexy, right? It wasn't sexy when I first came in the game. But when I understood what the game plan was and what the mission is, I'd rather have these assets paying for my luxury cars instead of going luxury and trying to figure out what's going to pay for it in case of an accident. You see,
100%.
a lot of people say they want to start off with one car, right? Well, I just want to try this thing. The word try doesn't exist. It's a false word given to us to make us cop out, right? Here, the word try means I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that. No, the reality is you're going to either do or don't do what you're saying you're trying to do.
Bro, you gotta first of all, you gotta say that again. That was a heavy bar. I mean, you've been given a lot of sauce on rentals, but I think that mindset little bar you just dropped, that might be the biggest thing that you said this whole episode, bro. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to him
so,
one more time.
so it's simple, man. People say I'm gonna start on one car. I'm gonna try this business out. The word "try" is not a real word. It's a false word. It's an easy cop out word. Because the truth of the matter is, you either do or don't do what you say you're trying to do. Okay?
Mm.
That's the end result. No one tried to pick up a phone. You either pick up the phone or you don't, right? Try to pick up a pen, and then let me know what the end result of that trying got you. Right? You either pick up that pen or you didn't. That's the end result. That's what you're really doing. You're in the process. You're attempting. You're on your way to that end result. So everything in between on the destination is the motion or the lack of motion. So we don't
Mm.
try anything. We either do or don't do. So when I tell you one time this one car thing, if you going, you can start with one car if you got one car, and you say, I'm not going to try. I say, I'm gonna go ahead and run out this car because I'm not in it. So let me go ahead and run out this car and see what kind of profit I can get from it. That's not trying. You're just saying I'm going to go ahead and do this car, run my car because I'm not using it like your model, right? That's a model.
Yep.
I just want to take some passive income from the car that I have. I want to take care of the bill and then use it, whenever I feel like using it because I'm not using it all the time. Boom, that's an option. Now, if you like what you're getting from that, now let's level up. Because the truth of the matter is, when you start this rental business, you want to start with at least 2 to 3 cars or more. Here's
Yep.
why. Here's why. Because just in case something freak happens, like you get your car smashed or it's totaled, guess what? You're out the game. You're out the game. But if
Instantly.
instant, and God forbid you actually pay cash for that thing.
Ooh.
On my cash car, people, I don't care if it's 3,000, 6,000, or whatever thousand. This market is high, just like gas is high. This is not the time to tie your cash up in a liability and wait for it to create you an asset. This is when you leverage the people who have the resources to give you the money and let the drivers pay off the debt, and you
So Jeff,
collect. Yes.
so if there's somebody out there right now that's sitting on some credit, let's say they're sitting on 20 bands, 30 bands, 40 bands of credit. They got good credit. They just ain't using it. You know what I mean? They might go buy their groceries or get a little Target situation, a little Best Buy situation. I'm gonna go on a trip with my family, but I'm just sitting on this money. I'm not really doing nothing with it. So to that person who may not be necessarily doing anything outside of their 9 to 5, right? Or maybe they do have something, but they sitting on this credit. Should they consider using that credit to purchase the vehicles and then use that vehicles to create some income? Is that the type of leverage that they should consider doing if they're sitting on credit right now?
Yeah, so there's a couple ways, right? So if you got that credit card 20K and it's your personal credit card, right? Two ways you can do. Because when you use that to buy a car now, okay, um, your debt to income ratio, your credit card utility is going to be high if that's the only card you have. Now, if you got $100,000 worth in credit cards and $20, I'm sorry, 20,000 is what you want to use to get the car, then that's 20% of your total utilization. You're fine,
Yep.
right? Now, here's the cool thing. This is why you got to tap into mentorships, man. Because just when you're learning things that's not on YouTube University, it can't. No one's putting that information on there. They're keeping it to their community. So if you're not tapped in to get wrapped in, you'll never get the bag.
You're not tapped in to get wrapped in.
Okay?
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up.
You gotta be tapped in. So because of that, now people that join my community, my mentorship, what happens is this. I give them access to like my first of all, I give them access to everything that I do. I don't hold nothing back. I don't fluff them. I tell them exactly what I did to be successful. That's the difference from my mentorship and a lot of other mentorships, right? They'll give you something, they'll give you the lot, but when it's time for Q&A, it's a lot going on. So especially if you have a big mentorship, you can't answer everybody's questions, right? You can't, right? And I understand that. But I give you exactly what you need for you to be successful. I say follow exactly what I did, and then you can add on to what you already mastered. Master the one thing first, and then when you master it, now you can add on to what you already mastered, right? And so I give them the blueprint, the literal step-by-step game plan of what I did, so they can do what I did or even better, right? And that stops analysis paralysis. Does it make sense?
Yep.
Because they know exactly what to do because I'm telling them what to do. And when that happens, I can help them with that because I know what I did. So I know if they're doing it wrong or whatever and they want to stray away. And I show them why you want these type of cars versus this type of car, right? You may not like the car. Remember, this is not a car that you are driving. You got to remove that out of there, right? Because when I opened my store back in 2004, I had a store called the Hotspot, right? Newport Mall in Jersey City, right? I had a store after I left the music industry, and I was buying things in that store that I liked. Guess what? No one's buying it. Nobody's buying it. I'm like, what the heck? You think it's fire? They're like, you ain't got that? No, I don't got that. You ain't got this? No. If you got that, man, I'm gonna buy it. So I had to sell off the stuff that I bought it and brought the stuff that the people wanted. Okay. And once I did that, my store became a success. Okay. Same thing in anything you're selling. It's not about you. It's not about you. So get that out the way. I don't care if that's your favorite car. If it doesn't make sense for the platform, for the drivers, it's not going to make sense for your money. So we have certain criteria that we follow. You get those cars, I guarantee that. Well, I guarantee that they give it out because I know the platform. I know the drivers. I am that. I know why we want those cars. And also what they see is what they want. Right? So we follow, I say I follow an enterprise blueprint, right? It's called what would enterprise do, right? Meaning I don't go buy cars just because I'm buying the cars. I look at what these big boys are doing. What kind of car are they renting? Because the reason why they're renting them because they're going to give them the most bang for their buck with maintenance, with the buy-in, and with the sellout. It holds value, right? So that's why they buy these particular cars, and that's why you see all the other rental companies having the similar cars. Not just because of what I just talked about, also because of if this person is going to Hertz and they want the Toyota Camry SE, but they ran out, they sold out, they already emotionally attached to getting that vehicle. But now it's not there, so they got to go what? Enterprise. And Enterprise don't got it, right? But then I'm saying I rent about that same car, they're going to get it from me because they already wanted the car.
So we got another question for the community, and we're at the top of the hour, right? So we want to hold Jeff's time up too much, but I want to make sure you guys are able to tap into him. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna touch on this last question. Then Jeff's gonna let you know how you can tap into the mentorship programs. If you got any additional questions, how you can get those questions answered, and we go from there. So Whitney Cleans asks, "What's a good starter pack car inventory?" So she's thinking about, listen, if I'm gonna start the situation, I bought 4 or 5 cars. What are 4 or 5 cars I should consider opening up with?
First of all, you wanna, and so that's a great question. First of all, what city you in? And if you're looking to do the Uber and Lyft play, then I'm gonna tell you how it works for the Uber and Lyft play. All right. First thing you want to see is in your city, what cars are normally used for Uber and Lyft. That's one. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna see a Camry, Ford Fusion, a hybrid, a Sonata, and a Caravan for the most part, right? Just understand that, or some kind of an SUV model, right? Now, you
She said
guys got
she's in LA.
LA. Okay, cool. Even Teslas work fine out there. Now, I Uber in my Tesla, and I'm telling you right now, the quality of conversations and for the driver is up there, right? So I charge a higher premium when I rent out Teslas. Okay. Now, that being said, um, I look at what the Uber and Lyft driver people are already driving out there, right? That's for one. But in my mentorship, I teach you. It's actually for Uber drivers. You'll be able to see what each car qualifies for. So we want to make sure that our cars qualify for as much as possible. When I say qualify, when you guys book an Uber, for those who don't drive, who don't ride Uber, it asks you which one do you want: an XL, a pet, green, Uber Black, all those tier levels. That's income for us. And what that means is if I got a car that qualifies for more of those things, I earn more of the money. Does that make sense? So I may have a Sonata, but it's not comfort qualified. But the Camry SE is comfort qualified. That means I'm making more money than somebody who has a Sonata, same room and everything, because my car is qualified for Uber X, Uber this, Uber that, and Uber Comfort. So there's less cars on the road that can do Uber Comfort. So you may have your car, but you're going to rent mine because your car doesn't qualify for Uber Comfort or airport, but my car does, right? So to answer your question, top 5 cars that I would recommend would be Ford Fusions, Toyota Camrys, Sonatas, Caravans, okay, and one more would be the K5.
Yeah, you said the K5, but also since you said she's in LA, the Tesla might be a good option for her.
Definitely Tesla or the Teslas or the Prius. But I would say with the Prius, it just depends on your market. Like in Florida, the compact cars do well because of the move in the streets. And so if you go to Florida, you see these small cars. When I'm in Bogota, Colombia, you see small cars, right? So it just depends on your area of which one would be the best for you. But we don't get small cars because people if they got to go to the airport and they got luggage, they go to cancel and get another person car.
Yeah, right? They need that. They need that room. So we got one more. I'm gonna let one more question slide in, just because I just seen it pop up. On the Imperfect Action Show, we get a value. So Darius asks, how are you doing the marketing and grabbing clients if you're not using the platforms?
Phenomenal question. Just like anything else, right? Toro don't promote your cars. They just have it on the platform. But y'all promote Toro. Everybody talk about Toro. Oh, Toro. We all been promoting the platform. They just put your cars there. They're not running ads with your cars on social media, running your cars in your ads. Stop. We're gonna give fools. Let me show you what I do. I'm gonna give you out the bar, right? You know them bandit signs, them yard signs, right? That says we buy houses, we buy ugly houses. Well, how about mine says rent a car to drive for Uber and Lyft. Text the word.
You got the bandit signs rocking off for the car share, and everyone's seen them in your cities. You be walking down the street, driving down the street. We buy ugly homes. We give cash. We give cash for your home. Yeah, we all seen those.
If y'all don't think that works, let me tell you something. Why do you think you still see them to this day? Real estate people are spending millions of dollars on that advertisement alone, y'all.
There's a couple on the end of my street.
And who else does it? When it's tax time, what y'all see? Tax time bandit signs, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So we show you how to actually put these bandit signs where Uber and Lyft drivers will have no choice to see them. Then we have referral programs. So as we take a ride in Uber and we have a conversation, I say I have a rental company. If you know anybody who's looking to rent cars for Uber, Let them know that you sent me, and I'll give you a referral fee for referring them to me. There's just two ways that I get the cars rented out. I got all kinds of ways.
Yo, if y'all want the sauce, y'all gotta tap in with Jeff. Send him a DM, man. But real quick, how can they tap in with you as far as jumping into the mentorship? What programs you offer? How can they get access to more information?
For sure. At Jeff Trill, send me a DM, say that you was on the Imperfect Action Show, right? And let me tell you something. I don't. I want to tell you guys this. The mindset is you just got to get started to be great, right? You got to take imperfect actions to get to your destination, y'all. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Now my mentorship is going up, so I'm doing a special for my man Brandon. So anybody that says that they
can tell me about this, y'all.
I like the spicy. It's go hard or go home for me, man. You know what I'm saying? Because if we don't go hard, we ain't gonna have home to go to. So anybody that inbox me and say, "Hey, I just watched your show I just watched the Imperfect Action Show," I'm going to give them $300 off of the actual price. Of the mentorship is $3,500, so you'll get it for $3,200, and that's for the first 10 people who inbox me. Because after that, we have to go up because we have the auction plan. Talk about where we get our cars financed from the auctions. We no longer go to dealerships no more to get cars. Okay, we got like I told you, the actual insurance play, so that when your car's getting in an accident, you got an actual insurance adjuster that you can actually talk to help walk you through.
That insurance plays worth a whole nother thing by itself.
I'm gonna give you example. I'm gonna give you a real life story that happened to me before we get out of here about having an insurance adjuster on your team. Okay, shout out to Keita, fire. Right, my driver got into an accident. We were able to. She walked me through what to say, and she also walked us through like what to say. Not lying, but you know how we say we'll say something that is like minute, but to the insurance person, it makes you feel like you're at fault.
Yep. Certain words.
Certain words. It's not you lying. It's just the way you talking. It just doesn't. It makes them feel like that you was at fault when you need to make sure that you saying it in a way that you getting your point across where it's not hurting against you. So one of my drivers got into an accident. Right, the guy, she was in the medium and he jumped out from the stop sign and hit her on the side. But if you would look at the accident if you just look at the accident from the pictures alone, it would have looked like she was at fault because she hit his door and he hit her front. But when we talked and said he shot out while she was trying to make a turn, that's what caused him to get in front of her faster to hit him. And because of that detailed explanation, they were able to honor the claim in our favor because what he said was in negligence and what we said made sense.
Yeah, because of the language. That's a bar. I heard. I heard Pushman Mitch say something about that in the interview. It's just like you said, you're not withholding information or anything like that. You just present it in a way that's going to make sure that you doesn't seem like you're guilty, because sometimes we don't really realize the things that we're saying.
Exactly. So that having that in your arsenal, your team, also know how to buy cars the right way instead of using your cash, leverage everyone. It's priceless. Okay. So yeah, that's what we're doing. If you want to keep your cars out long term, that's what we do, and we sure have to keep running the play no delay.
So yo, you guys need to tap into my guy Jeff Churls, learn the car ride share play, learn the information that you need. So if you're gonna enter this space, so if you're already in this space, how to elevate and dominate, right? We ain't collaborate, because we ain't competing, we dominating, right? So if you're looking to dominate this situation, definitely tap into my guy Jeff Churls. So Jeff, I want to thank you, man. Thank you for the time and the opportunity to finally get you on the platform. And I just want to let you guys know a little bit about persistence, right, and consistency. Because this show didn't even exist when I was talking to Jeff. We was going to get him on the other podcast. I had to create a whole other podcast, had to do over 50 episodes, and then Jeff was like, all right, B, I see you moving. I'm going to come on.
We actually met at the event. We had to meet up in person for the big thing happen, which is crazy.
Yeah, he was like, I don't know if you're a real person now. I got to see you. Come, pull up.
Nah, man.
But yo, real quick, tell me about the rocket in the back, bro. What's this rocket award you got in the back?
Oh yeah, so my previous company, I won awards. It's a Leadership Excellence Award. I won that back in 2019. A couple of different awards. When I went to Dubai, I put all that there. So I got my little awards that what I do here was what I've been doing in life. I love helping people. I love impacting lives, and I know how to lead you to where you need to go. See, the truth is, people will join people if they feel they can take them somewhere. Yeah, and so people partner with people if they feel they can take them somewhere. So that's why my mentees partner with me in this rideshare domination because they knew I could take them somewhere because I've already been there. That's why it's powerful to seek wise counsel from people who are doing what it is that you want to do instead of just talking about what to do. Okay?
100%. Definitely, bro. So, Jeff, again, thanks for coming on. You guys, Imperfect Action Show, episode 55 coming up tomorrow. Quick shout out to the sponsor, right? Who's sponsoring? Me, that's who. So, look, if you're a coach or a consultant, right, and you're looking to get better at marketing, you're struggling with your marketing messages, right? You want to get clear on your marketing and actually make more money online. You want to go from that 5K to that 10, to that 10 to that 15. What you want to do is you want to click that link below, right? Fill out the application form. Let's see if we're a good fit to work together, right? So, Jeff, man, look forward to having you back on the episode in the future. Matter of fact, we probably got to do the in-person situation. But make sure that you guys follow my guy, Jeff Trills. He's going to give you all the information. He drops so much information, so many bars, so many one-liners to help take your business to the next level in the car share industry. So, Jeff, I'll see you soon. Make sure you guys tap in. If you guys miss anything, we're going right on YouTube immediately so you can watch the replay. Make sure you share this out with 3 or 4 people. All right, Jeff, I'll talk to you soon, brother.
All right, brother. Y'all be great because you are great. Peace.
Peace.